Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is episode 34, 34, sorry. We were going to talk about intoxication, alcoholic, anything would take the control of the mind, not only the mind, control of somebody's behavior, sometimes mind, sometimes the nervous system, whatever. Have an effect or been affected by drinking alcohol as an intoxication or drugs in general. When you are in a full control, then you can guarantee your action in a percentage, of course, but at least in a normal situation. But when you drink alcohol or being intoxicated, you become different person because the center of your control is your brain is not function proper. In the intoxication and gamble, they both have relation. Wherever you go, most of the places you go and find gambling, you'll find serving alcohol. And when you go for a place which serve alcoholic, you will find a bit of gambling. They are associated with each other with a human being. And unfortunately, humans have a tendency toward alcoholic and gambling through history. Why? It's very clear, because it's a work of the devil, Satan. Where I get that from? It's from the Quran. Then the idea of the tendency for intoxication and gambling, that tendency explained because it's a work of a devil. It's an instrument, or Satan instrument, which make human or breaking the social bond of from human, make human upset with each other. Not going to a level of maybe enmity, sometimes it happens, but it break the bond, the social bond. When we're talking about zakah, and we say zakah nourish or building the social bond. Gamble and intoxication breaking that bond. We can see from Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah 90 and 91, the call here for the believer. And when you find the Quran calling for believer, think of something important, because the call is addressed to the believer. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إنما الخمر والميسر والأنصاب والأزلام رجس من عمل الشيطان. That's very clear. as an instrument of the devil. فَاجْتَنِبُوهُ. And some people try to say فَاجْتَنِبُوهُ doesn't really make it a haram. Actually, linguistically, in Arabic language, al-ijtinab is a higher than prohibition, because al-ijtinab, to, as the linguistic translation, avoid, to avoid anything, not the thing itself of alcoholic and myself, or anything who might lead to it. فاجتنبوا لعلكم تفلحون. إنما يريد الشيطان. Again, twice, the word shaitan. You can't have a close relation more than mention it twice in 2 ayahs. إنما يريد الشيطان أن يوقع بينكم العداوة والبغضاء. Enmity and hate. The devil wanted to create enmity and hate among you, to break the social bond, which is very important in human life. العداوة والبغضاء في الخمر والميسر, both. That's why we see always association between intoxication and gambling. ويصدكم عن ذكر الله. Another thing, to block and prevent you of ذكر الله, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وعلى الصلاة. When you're involved in intoxication, you can't pray. When you play gambling, you don't feel the time, you stop praying. فهل أنتم منتهون؟ فهل أنتم منتهون? It's a very clear, the association between gambling and intoxication, and the tendency for human toward those two phenomena, because it's an instrument, it's a work of a devil. Because the devil wants to put the enmity and hatred between you, and to prevent you from remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and praying. لعلكم تفلحون. Then that's what the objective of the devil, not to succeed or be successful. Sometimes you look at the struggle between us human. It's not in this life, of course, it is a test and a lot of struggle, but this is a different kind of struggle. But the main struggle is between us and the devil. That's why when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the devil to bow, in the sense of serving human, he refused. Then he created that problem between us and the devil. And the devil used that to make the enmity among ourselves in order to fail in this life, to fail of the test, because he did fail in the beginning. And this is the English saying, if you cannot rise higher, put the other people down. That's what the devil trying to do. Like the gambling machine we explained the previous episode, this intoxication and is similar to gambling, is behind it a huge entity, an industrial entity, distribution, promotion, huge thing. And all this is wasted because the end product is not what the end product do the human, is the loss of all this opportunity. You apply human resources, all factor protection, and everything involved is a huge lost opportunities. And in the addition of lost, when somebody go and drink, he lost himself because he can't control himself anymore. He go aggressive sometimes. You go ill. Some people also go ill. He caused the society by spending the cost of his recovery because he's ill. He caused the society the cost of policing. When they go and fight and do all this disruption in the society, you need police force. All this is the cost for society. Then is not only the effect of the end product. Look at from the beginning. You make the intoxication or the alcoholic, for example, if I give the wine, because we know the wine is made from grapes. You need to plant the grapes. You plant the grapes and make the juice. Then you go and brew and all these process, very expensive processing until you get the end product. All this is waste. You waste before the production until you get the end product. And after the end product, the human use the end product, he gets ill, he loses control of himself. The society have to pay for him to recover, to pay him for policing, for all other result of his behavior. If you go to the report in England, for example, the effect of alcoholic is huge. We have some idea why the tendency of alcoholic and gambling. But the problem is we rely in most of our life about the scientist. The science told us that's not good for you. Neither alcoholic nor gambling. Why we still do it? I lived in the period for the last maybe 60, 70 years, and I've seen how the society get rid of smoking. And that was a good idea. Because it has been proven scientifically without any doubt that passive smoking is bad for the health. And for the political machine, realize that smoking is bad for people. That's why collectively in the Western world, in the whole world now, when I'm saying Western world, because they start the initiative, and always in these days, the West start the initiative, and our world, in the undeveloped world, as they say, follow suit. They discover the waste for smoking, they prohibit by law to smoke indoors, for example, and gradually most of the places you can't smoke. But this is it. They don't have a full energy. They don't have behind them an energy to say, okay, you're not allowed to smoke. Because people have a special mechanism. They have submit the passing the law to human being. And that human is not qualified or have the courage to say, do not drink or do not gamble or do not smoke. They can partially organize it, say don't smoke in the public places. But it stops there. It doesn't go as high enough after that. The idea here is not because they're not convinced as is bad for you, it's bad for society. If you get in England here, open any research engine, or just as simply, if you go and find it in Google or anything, get the study of how bad alcoholic and gambling is, or how bad the smoking is. Huge. And the question, why they don't ban it completely? It is very clear. The problem is not the knowing. The problem is the juristic authority. The authority of passing the law. And that's why, as a believer or as a Muslim, we feel the importance of believing of God as the authority of putting the law. Because the only entity which has the courage to tell human, do this and don't do that. The authority, nobody doubt that the authority for Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wouldn't benefit from telling the human do and don't. That's why we accept it. And nobody can say, well, who are you to tell me what I do? When he talked to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who God created him, and he doesn't need anything back from him, then he would understand whatever law is from Allah is for his own benefit, not for benefit of somebody else. Not only the benefit, the knowledge, the understanding of human being, the full understanding of the nature of life, the overall balance of life. All these wouldn't give human the authority to pass a law. Only the entity of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who's qualified, is to pass the law of do and don't. And this is one of the reason and feeling good as a Muslim when we say don't and do. Don't drink alcoholic, don't gamble. And all the rest of do and don't is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who knows best. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.